Nigerians will never cease to amaze me. I repeat, Nigerians will never ever cease to amaze me. An NYSC youth corper is currently in trouble for attacking the president, Tinubu. She is in big trouble. The NYSC called her number and started threatening her. Now, what did she say? She said two things. Number one, that the president is a terrible president. He's a terrible leader and administrator. The regime of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is terrible for Nigerians. That's what she said. And number two, she said that Lagos State is smelling. Now, let's look at the facts. Let's start with Lagos. Is Lagos State smelling? I, for one, I was born and bred up in Lagos and have moved at least around Lagos. You cannot say Lagos is smelling. You cannot use a particular section of the state and use it to qualify the whole state in total. The lady in question, my question is, where is your place of residence? Where are you staying? If you go to other states, there are equally places that are smelling and places that are not smelling. So it's a common factor with Nigeria, total. It's not exclusive to Lagos State. In fact, Lagos is much more better than so many states in terms of environment. Lagos State is much more better than so many states in terms of environment. So put that aside. As somebody that was born and bred in Lagos, I've lived in Lagos, there are certain areas that are smelling and there are many areas that are not smelling. So it is a common decimal that you can see in almost all the 36 states in Nigeria. There are some states that the smell will make you run away. So putting that aside, let's look at the attack on the president. We understand that the NYSC has rules and regulation. I've said it over and over again that we need to change this system. The system we are operating is a system that will never bring good governance to us. So NYSC tells you that you cannot openly criticize the government as a person who is working for the federal government, because you as a youth corper, it is the federal government that is paying you. So you're an official of the government. So you're not expected to criticize the government openly. What are you expected to do? You take it through the channels within. We have seen in this country where soldiers come out to criticize the authority, because most of the time, the system we operate never gives room for accountability, transparency. Never ever give room. When I'm saying that we should change this system, I understand what we are talking about. Now, the NYSC, there are guidelines you need to follow. The lady went against the guidelines and she started criticizing the president and Lagos State openly. She has fallen short of that law, that rules and regulation of the NYSC. I'm not in support of this system. Don't think that I'm in support of you being gagged as a human being. The system allows that you become puppets. The system allows that you don't use your number 6. What the system tells you is, whatever the government does, keep quiet. That is what the system that we are operating. I've said we need to change the system. You can never get good governance from the system you're operating. Imagine as a youth corper, they kidnap you. You see, the lady, the NYSC official that called the lady, was threatening the lady and saying all sorts of things because of that video she made, telling the world how her condition is, how the country, how people are suffering, how inflation is high. The 33,000 will be 70. Me, I'm even confused. I don't know which one be which one. I don't know which one be true again. Whether it is 77,000 or 33,000. Some people say they have paid 33,000. Some people say they have not paid. Some people pay, they just collect 70-something thousand. So inflation, high inflation, with that 70 or let's say 33, because I've seen what I'm seeing is 33,000. 33,000 cannot get you anything. A government that is ruling the country that have numerous resources, rich in oil, rich in so many mineral resources, cannot offer its officials, its corpers, youth corpers, good accommodation, drinking water, health facility, and even the stipends they are paying cannot be able to take them for 1 week. This lady came out and started complaining, not knowing that there is a law, there is a slave law. There's a rules and regulation that has already turned you to a slave for subscribing to this system, you must keep to the regulations and rules. So if anything happens to that lady, do not blame Tinubu, blame the system. I see Shore, I see Atiku, all putting their voices out. Shore is threatening legal action against anybody. My brother, we that are Nigerians, we are being threatened. We are not working for the federal government. Too. If we criticize the government, you see how the government frowns at criticism. You see how a government that does not even like opposition, you will see the reaction of the government. For people like us that are not even working with government, not part of the system, you see how they are frowning. Not to talk of somebody that is a youth corper that is being paid by the federal government, that is a paramilitary, because they are trained by the army to not criticize the government. Soldiers in the past that have criticized the authorities, most of them have been manhandled and missing. This is a system. What is the system trying to tell you? Keep short. If politicians are stealing money, keep short. If politicians are money laundering, if politicians are involved in corruption, stealing your livelihood, keep short. Don't say anything. Imagine, let's look at our school system. The reasons why you have Akpabio and Natasha going to the streets and will pack men and women, pack them and come to Abuja. These men and women, most of them don't know what they're going to do. And they will come and start carrying placards. You can see how derailed Nigerians have been. It is because of the system. The system is producing stupid, foolish, and derailed people. Even if they are professors, PhD holders, master degree holders, and old men. The system is producing, I don't know what word I can use to qualify. From the school system. Now, primary school, if you try and stand up to your teacher, my brother, they can rusticate you. So, what is the impression? The kind of Nigerian student they are building a slave-like mentality. When I was in the higher institution, they banned student union. They never wanted student uprising. At a time, students had to form a union to uprise, to fight the authorities that be, to ask questions, strong questions. Most of these students were rusticated by the lecturers, by the body. Most of these students were rusticated from the school because they wanted to ignite change. The school was telling them that this is the process by which you are going to bring your whatever. It's just like me and you, we are coming to an agreement. You carry gun and no carry gun. It is your terms and conditions. Look at Russia and Ukraine. The lecturers are Russia. They believe they have an upper hand. They are the ones that will tell you how to complain. When they beat you, they tell you how to complain. You get them? When they beat you, look at schools. Most people cannot stand up to constituted authority. It is the constituted authority that tells you how to lay your claims. Okay, let's agree that they are right. Those ones that have been laying their claims over the years, what change has it brought to the institution? Those ones that have been saying, okay, we write a paper, this is what we don't like in the school, this is how we can change it. What change has it brought? It is revolution that has brought change over the years. But from your secondary to your higher institution, the system tries to make you mental, a slave. Your mentality, you think like a slave. You are not creative, you are not thinking out of the box. If you are in school and you see something wrong, you cannot come out and say, it is even your fellow students that will tell you, my brother, don't do too much. You do too much. No, you do for school. Things are getting bad and bad. They expect you. They are the ones that are beating you. The policies they enact is biting hard, is hitting you, and they are the ones telling you how to cry. So in Nigeria, the system is the problem, not Tinubu, not anybody. It is the system, not the Nysc DG woman. It is the system that produces this element of people. There are schools that if your child pass through, he will be challenged to become something in future. because of a system that is put through that school. So if anything happens to that lady, do not blame Tinubu, do not blame the police or the EFCC or anybody that is threatening her. Do not blame the APC supporters. It is because we run a system that turns human beings to zombies, a system that makes you don't think. Now, so people are attacking a lady. Your career is finished. Your career is finished. Okay, those that have served Nigeria, millions of graduates here and there, where are they now? What has happened to their career? Is Nigeria offering them the best? That's why it is only exceptionally good persons that get jobs. But the system does not help you. It makes you look like a mumu. That's why Akpabio and Natasha can go into the streets and carry people's mothers and fathers and bring them to Abuja and disgrace themselves. That is what politicians want you to turn to. Zombies. That whatever they do, you just clap for them. If you are going to correct them, you just say, please now, please, don't steal our money. Please don't steal this money now. Please don't divert these funds now. That's how they want you. So the NYC is telling you that if you are going to criticize, you should be within. Don't come outside and criticize. Well, I don't know whether NYC has anything to influence when it comes to what the president needs to do to make the country better. Because she was complaining about the president. So if she complains to NYC, please, things are hard, blah, 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 blah. I know the kind of answers she may get. Are you the only one? The president is trying his best. Just have patience. Me, I did here. I don't have patience. I did for Jonathan. Jonathan completes 6 years. I have patience. Buhari completes 8 years. We are having patience. Tinubu is going to complete 8 years. How many? 22 years. You're having patience and your youth is taken away from you. They're not expecting you to say anything. My brother, we have said it and we will say it over and over again. Until we muzzle up and change this system, this way of thinking, see, when I look at Nigerians, I look at the society, I look at the world. I got into the higher institution. My lecturer told me, he told me that you that are here, they are already leading you 10-0. The educational system in Nigeria is not compared to what people are doing in China. Young people are doing computer engineering. In China, young people are doing 3, 4, 5 years. Civil engineering, bricklaying, welding, carpentry, furniture, and the likes. Fixing gadgets, phones, electronic device. While in Nigeria, an elect will have to go and work with an electrician for him to be able to understand what he read and what he learned in school. While children in China, at tender age, they tell them the basics, everything. But we in Nigeria, we first speak grammar for the first 5 years. Speak grammar. Then after, we now go back. Somebody that didn't even go to school will even know the job more than a graduate in Nigeria. So don't blame this lady. If anything happened to her, if they expel her, don't blame the NYC. It is the system. I've told you that if you understand that this system is not bringing any good, you'll just be there. Article is telling the presidency that what we are supposed to do at this point is identify the problems that this lady has earmarked. If I were the president, if I were Tinubu, I'll call the lady, give her an audience, talk to her. This is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. This is how we can, the steps we are taking. The problem has been there for long. They're coming to all these APC or change. You are attacking the lady. You are saying this one, he owned on, blah, 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 everything. I understand the part that Lagos is smelling. If you say Lagos is smelling, where I live, don't smell. Most places don't smell in Lagos. But there are some certain places that smell in Lagos. And one of the reasons why people are saying Lagos is smelling, one of the reasons, I'm not going to give a biased statement. One of the reasons is because they expect more from Lagos, a sector of excellence. They expect more than their states. They believe that Lagos is a place, is the London of Nigeria. That's why they are expecting much more. They leave their own abode, they come to Lagos, they're expecting El Dorado. So when they get some areas and see some things, they are shocked. Like, wow, the stories you have been hearing about Lagos, this is not it. Like every other state in Nigeria that have a place that smell, so does Lagos. So it is not exclusive to Lagos. So anybody that wants to throw that as an agenda, please guide that agenda. Lagos is smelling and is not smelling. My state, Abia State, is smelling and not smelling. It is Nigeria. It is Nigeria factor. That is the factor. So the president should call the lady, talk to the lady. This is what we are doing. He will win the hearts of people. This is a secret. This kind of escalating whatever, you don't need to start. I don't blame this APC whatever. That's, I don't use the Southwest or the Yorubas, because I see Yorubas that are supporting the lady. So because some people are trying to make it why is it only Yorubas are the ones attacking the lady, blah blah blah. Is it because Tinubu is president? I don't want to make it that. I know, I respect the other Yorubas that is on the side of the lady. So as I've made you to understand that you don't blame the lady, you don't blame the government, it is the system. So the system will support whatever we get from that system. Let's take it like that. I met a lawyer. I interviewed a lawyer long time ago. He told me that the only thing that will make Nigeria better is for them to rework the constitution. This is a constitution that we are all abiding by, that is guiding us. The constitution is the vehicle that is taking us, moving us to a destination. That's the constitution. A lawyer is telling us that that constitution, the engine, the tire don't burst though. We are moving on speed though. The tire don't burst though. The engine, there's no oil though. This speed you are running, this engine is faulty. Let us rework the constitution. But you see, since we have decided not to rework that constitution, whatever the constitution gives to us, we take. Whatever somebody called Nigeria is, whatever the constitution gives to you, you take. If Nysc sanctioned the lady, you are not going to do anything. Is it not the judiciary? Should they want to take them to court? Is it not the judiciary? They will sanction the lady. You get court injunction. If Nysc want to push it to any level, they will push it. This is what we get from Nigeria. I've said it over and over again. Until we come together and make sure that this system is changed. Let's rework this system. Nothing. There's nothing. Nobody can do any magic for anybody. Nobody. Nobody can do. The system wants you not to speak out. The system wants you to keep quiet in face of tyranny. If they are beating you, the system wants you not to cry, but you are laughing as they are beating you. This politician will come, steal 1 trillion. The system wants you to keep quiet and more in silence. The second politician come, the first one rule for 8 years, 20 trillion naira a printer. We don't know where it is. No wonder I talk say I see him an APC man, because if he dare say Tinubu here say Buhari, they follow L5, they join SDP, they will open a can of worms. This is the system we run. This is the kind of politics we are playing in Nigeria today. Snatch it, grab it, and run away with it. So that one come pre 20 trillion. They found millions or millions of dollars in one of his ministers, central bank governor. Another person come, do his own. They expect you to keep quiet. Don't say anything. They tell you how you can complain. They will tell you how to cry. Anything that has to do with revolution, they don't want it. They don't want a system to change. When I started doing my broadcast, I said one thing. Nigeria getting better will not benefit the politicians. Yes, if Nigeria is on a path to prosperity, if Nigeria is on a path to delivering dividends of democracy to the people, the politicians will be the biggest losers. Those in power will be the biggest losers. That's why they want to have control of the legislature. They want to have control of the judiciary. They want to put their people in the army. There are people everywhere. Because that's the system. For instance, I'm a managing director of a company, of a federal agency. I help you get job in another agency. You'll be loyal to me. I help 10 people. Those people will be loyal to me. If I do anything wrong, You are expected not to talk back at me. That is the kind of culture we practice in Nigeria today. And we expect the country to get better. Not now. No, if Tinubu sanctions the lady, if Tinubu does anything to the lady, you don't blame me. There's a rule and regulation of the Nysc that you don't criticize the government. We are now dragging English language. You say she insulted. Insult. Tinubu is terrible. It's an insult. Say English language is very, very interesting. When you go court, you start to bring down synonyms of terrible. You understand? You're insulting the president. You're insulting the president. So they had to put that law to gag you. And you people, you didn't open your eyes to read the regulations of the Nysc. These are regulations that are making you slave mentality. Because how do you explain it? You are going through harsh. Some people have said they went through a lot, but they could not talk because they are afraid. And when they live the life of fear, they cannot cause any change to society. The politicians will continue in their impunity, doing what they are doing, calling your bluff. That's why the politicians do not value Nigeria and Nigerian voters and the masses, because they know that they have put them in a certain state of oblivion, whereby you cannot come out and even tell yourself the truth first. Not even the government. You cannot even tell yourself the truth. Look at our society. Ladies are going up and down doing rubbish. No elder can see a lady on the road and tell that lady the truth because we don't have morals. The system is breeding criminals. The system is breeding people that have no integrity. The system is breeding evil men and women. And we are seeing them in our street. The church is there and things like this are happening. I pity for the girl. In Nigeria, that's what you get. As much as you can, be ready for the worst. Because we cannot remain like this. This system has to change.